Responsibility. Responsibility is everything. Both to the man that you can see in front of you right here, Duke Lope IV, Lord of Basque, and potentially future King of Aquitaine. And it is everything to me, one proud Bavarian. Hello, first of all, welcome back to the daily, non-daily series. Definitely non-daily these days around. I have been quite busy with Elden Ring. If any of you were interested in that game or are interested in that game, I can highly recommend it. It is genuinely, like, it's just 3 or 4 Dark Souls in one game, and it all is basically, honestly, you can just say, Miyazaki, you madman, you did it again. Now, I have been basically off the grid because of that. I've been very, very busy, had a number of hours in that game. But today we return to our dear Duke Lope, to the Lord of Basque. I have seen a great number of really good coat of arms suggestions from all of you. I really enjoyed those. Some of those I am still keeping as a bit of an ace, you know, in the back of my hand, because I am thinking mostly about changing our realm COA once we actually are a king. What I already did was alter the Cominges COA. You can see the original one. I think you can still see it here. This is the basis of it, of the Cominges COA. Now, I have altered it in a way that I really enjoyed. This is a Basque symbol. You can see it here as well in the Kingdom of Navarra. But we, on the other hand, of course, maintain also the Aquitanian influence. I myself, I mean, Prince Lope IV has tried time and time again. I cannot speak the Occitan language, but I have been surrounded by allies, by supporters, by advisors that are all part of this general cultural area. Now, how we are going to be approaching, you know, the entire hybrid culture topic is something for the future. We can't do it right now either way, but probably more importantly, we are also looking at a situation where I don't think Duke Lope would have the wherewithal to do it, because at the end of the day, it is Asna Catalinus and his siblings that really are involved in this, not clash of the cultures, but merging of the cultures. They speak both languages, they grew up in courts with both of these peoples, and maybe sooner rather than later we will see a bit of a unified culture. I was looking at this and I was thinking I would even love it if all of this genuinely stayed Occitan and we just, you know, took this region and made it into a mix. Either way, we are in a pretty good but also fragile position. We are 51 years of age, we have 2 stress levels, almost actually 3. This could mean death, and it has been a very stressful time. We had to act against former allies, against people like Ramnulf IV and his father Ramnulf III that were not good people. The Pope himself said, you should become the King of Aquitaine, the Lord of the South, protecting the pilgrims and protecting the trade, of course. I mean, it is a very profitable region. This alone is something that has given us the concept, the idea that we are back in God's grace. Everything has worked out so far. Our wars have been more than successful. And I will take this as a sign that we can carry on as a good Lord, as the righteous Lord that we always saw ourselves as. But that does mean that I will have to move against part 2 again. That does mean that I have some ambition to see through. Let's take a quick look around. We have König Karel III of Frankland. Right, the French have been a bit crazy here. Van Vlaanderen and Carling are switching back and forth. The Danelaw has actually been defeated by an uprising. You're not the man that rose up. It was this fella here, Wulfgar. We still have a tiny Danelaw. They could technically retake this. I don't know whether König Harald has the wherewithal, though he might just give it all up. Other than that, the map looks quite good, and I think it is time that, you know what, we are on a steady march towards making, you know, sure that the will of the shepherd is respected here. So I will ask him for money, certainly, and I will debug mode my way out of here. I just am starting the game in debug mode. I didn't actually change anything. There you go. I will ask him for some gold, absolutely, why not, right? I have considered your plight and decided to grant your request. May these funds help you spread the true faith in your lands. That is wonderful. I will use this wealth wisely. Of course I will. He still likes me. I mean, I still like him as well. Am I still? Yeah, I am still learning his language, man. If I die to stress because of this, I will lose it. Speaking of dying to stress, I don't know whether I would host a feast. I mean, I do love my courtiers, right? Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty good relationship, especially to my family. What about my vassals? If I invite my wife, if I invite Zentulo and Piares, Fernando as well, I like all of them. You know what? I don't love people, but I will say that you all are pivotal when it comes to taking the lands in the name of the Pope. Let's have a feast. Let's relax a bit. Let's just enjoy life. Ooh, who died here? Louis the Stammerer has passed away. Wait a minute, that means that this is basically an end, right? This is an end to the claimants for France. Am I mistaken here? Yeah, he's gone. And he was the one that kept being reinstalled. Of course, his children now have the claim, but still, very interesting. We'll see where that will go. The guests are gathered in the Great Hall, lords and ladies from the near and far reaches of the realm. The mood is bright, and spirits are as high as the feast begins as they can be. Yeah, well, that is something we haven't done really, right? We are not exactly an illustrious, well, not king, wannabe king ultimately, right? But we are not exactly an illustrious prince. We are somebody that hasn't really celebrated existence all that much. And my son, Lope Catalinus. Really? Condessa Ermesinda, wait a minute. With your aunt? Well. Right. Well. These are the only things that I get out of my mouth right now. This is not a bad alliance here with Foix, but Adelaida. I will tell you. I think I will break this betrothal. We will break the betrothal not because you are so bad, but because my son does not deserve it. I would really love to... Yeah, I'm going to force him to take the vows. I will do my best to force Lope Catalinus. He must absolutely repent. Wait, you're not a... Oh, you could be a player, right. Yeah, this is... So basically, since I am playing with a mod that randomizes who I actually play out of all of my heirs, he could be a player indeed. A laudable effort. As the feast is underway and our guests are eating and drinking merrily, Duquesa Toda Adales approaches Catalina and me at the great table. This is a marvelous feast. All my compliments to the hosts. You've done a great job, or I have done a great job, or Catalina deserves all the credits. You know what, Catalina? Hey, I love you. And let's be real here, if anybody organizes this feast, then it is not our Prince Lope. He would just basically say, could you please do that so that I can then have a good time? But if I organize it, I will literally lose my mind. Feast, the conversation partner. As one plate of food is replaced by the next, my alferes Conde Zentulo goes on and on about ancient military campaigns. And that was how we salvaged that mess. Are you sure I'm not boring you, my lord? I am also interested in military affairs, and honestly, sure, please do go on. Why don't we talk more about you instead? You know what? Yeah, no, I like that actually. I would like to get him to know. See, the way I interpret Reclusive is that we do not have many feasts. This is one in a million days, basically, where we have a feast. And we will try to utilize this as good as we can. Being reclusive doesn't mean that you can't have friends, that you can't have acquaintances. I will try to get him to get to know him better. We are not exactly ultimately interested in tactics too much. As my guests depart, right here the feast ends with everyone headed for their respective homes. I'm proud to say that the feast was a success. Nevertheless, I'm still grateful that the endeavor is over for now. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that prestige as well. That is, of course, always very important. Lope Dominguez, the Cominguez can marry, but he will not be marrying. I will ask to take the vows for him. Otherwise, I might just imprison him and then ask him again. We'll see about this. I don't want to be cruel, of course, even though, of course, it reasonably would come across as cruel, but he needs to repent, and I believe putting himself into the shoes of a clergyman is a great idea for this. It does also fit. You know, I did see a comment, and I think it is reasonable, that basically asserted, hey, Lope IV isn't zealous, though. You know, don't go too deep into the church direction. This is why he isn't the one becoming a clergyman. This is why he's saying, hey, the church approves of our family, and I want to keep it this way. Not necessarily out of zeal, not necessarily because he loves the church. He has a good relationship with the Pope and everything, mind you, but at the same time, if his son is a bit of a blemish on his white vest, then he will do something about this, because both on a religious but also on a power politics level that makes him into this glorious lord that he sees himself as, he must make sure that his west stays very white. Soothing the pain. While I was at the market with Fakilo, her attention was caught by a criminal chained in the pillory. When the man begged for water, Fakilo immediately promised to bring it and soon returned from a nearby well, letting the criminal drink from her cupped hands. You know what? It's fine. Fakilo Jaques de Vasconia, that is completely fine. She's growing up to be a decent lady, it feels like, which is good, of course. Now, it was pointed out I can't give her a title. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might just force that. I might just give her a title via the console. Because the way I see it, she deserves it, and all of the, you know, framing aside, all of the history aside, as strict as it is here, where we basically have equal rights for women, but then we can't do it on a mechanical level. That is not really sensible. The Visigothic codes makes it so that we have or can have the equal gender law, and I do think that we basically should have that. We might even change it right now. You know what, actually, I'll walk this back a bit, actually. I think it might be a good idea to change this here, and then I'll do it, right? If I change this gender law, it would be in the spirit of my character, because my character has a deep respect for his wife, and for, of course, his ward. So I think using that prestige, and it's a lot of prestige, is not a bad idea, going to equal. It is bad for our inheritance situation, do not get me wrong here, but I think it is in character, very much so. Oh, look at that, right, we started building hillside fields, finally building up Carcassonne after such a long time of basically not interacting with it. We are also promoting cultural acceptance, but I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty sure we can take that away now. The necessary work has been done. I think I will be collecting taxes, absolutely. Where's the target goal here for acceptance? The target goal is... oh, it's just... Right, the target goal is actually just 25%, but it will be higher because we have all these positive modifiers, so probably somewhere at 60-70%, that sounds pretty good to me. We don't really need to encourage this any further. Bavaria also still rebelling. They have had a very, very difficult time over here with König Hartwig. I can only hope, of course, that, you know, all of that doesn't become a complete disaster in the east, because think about it. We still have Welka Morava, and we have all of these other heathens. Nope, they are actually Christians. You know what? Maybe Bavaria isn't at all one of those regions that desires and requires aid at this point. They seem pretty good. What is this? Slash and kill. Several heinous murders were recently committed in Aunis. The victims' corpses were often found horrifically mutilated. Authorities were unable to find the perpetrator until the local guards devised a cunning ambush and caught the degenerate butcher. It turns out that the murderer was a young nobleman whom everyone thought was friendly and kind. He cackled with glee as he lunged at the guards with a knife as they tried to arrest him. Thus, they were forced to kill him in self-defense. It seems he preferred to die rather than be caught alive and be brought to trial for his terrible crimes. His family is cooperating in the subsequent investigation and has disowned him posthumously, and many are praising the bravery and cunning of the guards. It was thanks to them that further tragedy was avoided. Serial killer found for 5 years. Reward the guards for their stalwart deeds. I do think that is in character. A serial killer who happened to be a nobleman terrorized the region for some time. However, a number of clever guards found a way to ambush him, and the man preferred death over being captured alive. Right. Control growth and popular opinion up. I like that, and I will reward them, absolutely. You have done a great service to the, well, not kingdom, but, you know, close to be a kingdom. I really love this. I love looking at this coat of arms. It really does show our heritage and who we are today. Now, Asibella Catalinus and Alva Catalinus, you know what? Oh, excuse me? Wait a minute. So I actually wanted to make sure that I wouldn't do the wrong thing here. Adelaida was promised to a different son of mine. I think we're going to be promising her Alva. He is a good son. He is a very well-behaved son, is he? Yeah, absolutely. Compassionate, patient, trusting. I think this is a good marriage right here. She was, of course, you know, it was a promise, and I keep my promises, except the other one has a new career ahead of him, which is, well, in a monastery. That's the word. In 2 years we can ask him to do that. He grew up and he is pretty okay. Not that great as an insightful thinker, but he came out as a good person. Now, his twin, Asibella, came out as a great fortune builder and as a deceitful, fickle, and greedy contrite. Wow, she is already basically a sinner. She is going into church. Maybe she is, maybe she knew something. You know, she is a deceitful lady, so she still actually tells people about the bad things she commits. She is deceitful, but she is also trying to repent. Maybe she knew something about her brother and her aunt. That is something that I could possibly see. Either way, I definitely need a pairing for her as well. Toscana doesn't seem all that bad. What about you? Do you happen to have a son? You have some brothers, a son that is 10 years old. It is not really a bad match, if we could get this. Oh, -1, you have to be kidding me. You have to be joking. Ah, look at that. Elvira can be promised. She's 13. That is a decent age to be promised, I think. I would promise her to Infante Adelfonso Adelfonses, who is the youngest, but also the only son of the king. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Who is this fella then? He is not the son What is the inheritance law here? It is partition. Why isn't it going to Infanta Adelfonso? Oh, because you are feudal elective. Oh, that is interesting. I will give you this marriage. This is not a bad marriage. We could, of course, matrilineal. I mean, they won't accept it, but no, I like the alliance, the general alliance to Asturias. Who knows for how long it lasts, but it reaffirms that we stand, of course, with the people that live to the south and are also Christians. Now, when it comes to our other daughter here, Azibella Catalinas, you need to be married. She should have probably already been promised to somebody, but here we are. I am looking at a situation, not Pretangaland, absolutely not. As long as they are not Catholic, they will not be welcomed in these affairs. What about Normandy? He's 5 years old, that is way too young. Hen could be fine. You? Matrilineal is even fine. I think this makes a lot of sense. We are in an equal situation where our character believes in gender equality when it comes to who should be, you know, the primary partner in a, for example, in a marriage, or who should be able to inherit land, all that sort of stuff. So I do think this makes sense. I will marry you matrilineally to the very young brother in Normandy. Maybe I could even educate him. We have had some conversations with Normandy, of course. His grandfather, I believe, Ghostfried here, learned our language. I welcome that. That was, it could have been Ghostbad. Why do they have such similar names? Either way, but I really, really do welcome this. So this alliance makes a lot of sense to me as well. And now look at this. Yeah, we are stacked. We are just so damn stacked every time. It is incredible how this character has managed to always have very strong allies. Now, Lope, again, let's not forget, he will not be in a position... right, perfect. He will not be in a position of marrying. I can't let the game convince me that I should marry him off. Absolutely not. You will go to church for your entire lifetime. What do we have here? The incompetent merchant. While shopping at a local fair, I realized that one of the merchants isn't selling a lot of merchandise. After observing him for a while, I realized he's absolutely terrible at advertising his wares, and it is so frustrating to watch him that I can't help but openly criticize him for this. Right, we are a person that is very honest, and as long as you're not being rude, I do think this is fine. I'll buy your products for you. I don't think so. I have some suggestions on how to better advertise your goods. I do like this. Diplomacy +1. You know what? No, I will not insult him. I don't think that is adequate. I will simply give you some advice, okay? Check it out. You can get this done. I believe in you. And my ally is attacking somebody. Wait a minute. He's attacking you for Valladolid. Ooh, that is a good attack, quite frankly. A very aesthetically pleasing attack. And I assume that he has this. I mean, yeah, this is not even close, I don't think. They do have an ally here. Ooh, these two are actually allies. So Valladolid and Olmedo. But I'm very happy to see that Asturias is actually pushing down. We may yet see the Reconquista. Oh, and he is calling me in, you know, quite frankly. If you do call me in, then I will answer your call. Absolutely. This is one of the very few times, if I may point this out, and you know what, let's actually march via the roads here, via Pamplona. This is one of the very few times where we are actually making our way down south into the Iberian Peninsula. It is something, of course, where our family is at home, where the majority of our family lives. Well, actually, that is incorrect. The majority of our family now lives up here, but where the very strong core of our family lives, and yet we have never really been there. Ooh, and he lost that battle. You are joking, right? I will take it. Jesus, take the wheel. Realm Priest opinion +50 sounds perfectly correct, and now we shall win this battle. I believe in our abilities to win it. I don't think that this army can do anything. Ooh, who do you have in your prison here? Well, not prison, but, you know, in your army. You hold none other than Conde Adelfonso of Soria. That is not a family member, but he is a direct vassal who should be protected, who needs to be protected in the name of our family member. You know what? We're going to do our best here. I will crush him even before you arrive. And here we go. This battle is mine, and with it, of course, all the glory in the war as well. Betrothed can marry. Let me take a look at this. Ooh, the marriage has been arranged. You're wounded. That is not good news. But at least the marriage has gone through. That is good. We have an empty counselor position. I mean, he deserves it. He very much deserves to be in this position. Oh, right. He already is in the diplomacy position. Alcate Nagusi Luis. I could assign basically a family member. She essentially is a part of my family now, Adelaida. And of course she must be treated well because my son has been such a beast. God, yeah, you know what, I'll put you in here. I trust you, okay? I gave you a different opportunity. You didn't need to suffer Lope Catalinas and the embarrassment that he would have brought for you. So now serve me well on my council. Maybe there's even a friendship in there that could develop. And we are indeed absolutely destroying them. I wonder, I need to check how many wounds we've taken. Landslide in Carcassonne. Oh, that's not good. A landslide has been reported, burying several villages and killing many. I will need to act quickly. If I'm to help the people here, it's too bad. There's not much we can do. Or let's try to help the victims as much as we can. I will absolutely try to help. You gain provided disaster relief for a landslide. The recent landslide itself is pretty bad. Yeah, indeed. Let's try to help the victims as much as we can. It costs us money. I mean, how else can I phrase it, right? It costs us money and it is not nice, but gotta do what you gotta do. I think Carcassonne still has 100 control. Is this true? Carcassonne still at 100. Okay, so I don't need to worry about that too much. We won the battle. Let's take a look at this. Now that we have finally made it all, I hope that this battle, look at this. Yeah, we got some wounded people. Alva got wounded. My own son, of course, that is negative. Alcata Nagusi Luis of Cognac got wounded, but we went victorious against the heathens. The Pope was right to trust us. I could ransom Conde Adelfonso, but no, we freed him here. This was not us, you know, trying to screw him over. This was us saving a vassal of our family member. I will simply release him. Absolutely. Man, if you were a greedy person, you could do something entirely different here. I really like the mod, the fact that you can capture them. And speaking of captured, let me take a look at this, right? First of all, Condessa Ermesinda. She is free again. I assume that he imprisoned her. I could do it now as well, but I don't see the point. She already has to carry the burden. The burden of embarrassment, of course. How are we doing? Ooh. Right, you are married to the Duke right here. That is Toda Adale, my other daughter. Let me just take a look at you. 9-12 still. So I can't do this yet. Who's the prisoner in my army? Wait, what? Oh no, he's free. Okay, right. So this will reset. This is all good. Don't worry about it too much. He is indeed free. My mortal body, prince or peasant, high or low, it does not matter. In the end, we are all mortals. I was reminded of this as I woke coughing in the early morning hours, a dull ache pounding through my head and throat. You seem to be under the weather, my lord. I know a fair number of suitable remedies. Is this how we die? Is this how we die? It's certainly looking like it is. It certainly is looking like it is. What will we do here? We are patient, honest, and just. Do we trust him? Ordono has been in our service for a long time. I think it is too late for caution, or do no one know what is necessary. He's saying we're just under the weather. If he's saying that, then I trust that we don't need to do much. And there you go, a little brighter. Ordono, you hero. Ordono attributed my ailments to an unsound diet. To revitalize my body, he insisted I consume only raw vegetables and herbal teas for a week. So as to not tempt me, he confiscated my stash of treats. He never returned them. What a son of a gun. The dietary restrictions turned out to be just what I needed. For now, the worst of my symptoms are alleviated, and the world seems a little brighter. Wow. If we died here, I mean, honestly, it would be a great story. The unfinished Lope. Lope that never saw it through, that never finished his task, and then saw his realm basically splinter as he died. But that's not us, at least not for the moment. Right now, we are sieging, we are doing quite alright. I hope that the illness does indeed pass. And there you go already. Ill, my old self. We'd really have to thank Ordono. He has carried us through this. We could have passed right there. We will seclude ourselves as soon as our army leading period is over, I think, because we're looking at a situation where we do need to relax, so we do need to recover. And that can't be all that long far away. Infante Adelfonso Adelfonses of Asturias. Right, so... Excuse me? Wait a minute. You hold land over here. Your father... How did you get this land? Your mother? I don't understand how he acquired this. Ah, yes, it is his mother, isn't it? Yeah, wow. So he got this county now. Is he an heir to anything else? Heir to Asturias, which is, I believe, what we are also... Oh, he is holding this directly. We are going to see some border go here. Border go that does make sense. That is very much sensible indeed. But yeah, he will inherit this, and we will have a fairly strong, albeit very, well, kind of all over the place ally. I'm not against it. Why would I be against my ally growing stronger, right? And this is the war. We took some prisoners here. Can I sell you? Anybody want to buy you? Nope. Alright, you know what? I'm a good man. I will simply release you. Alfred is dead. How did you die? Died from being ill. König Alfred Ethelwulfsson leaves behind a strong realm, it must be said. Ethelwulf Alfredsson of Englerland has taken over at 43 years of age. They are doing Saxon elective. I really do enjoy that they're still doing that. And England is very much in a good position. I think the last real issue that we have when it comes to, you know, the onslaught of the heathens, the onslaught of the heretics inside, and then of course of the Muslims, is Iberia. I do think that that is the last full aspect that we should care about. Oh, and look at that. Now, before we do this, let's seclude ourselves a bit. I will spend the prestige. Man, this prestige really does hurt, but I wanna at least relax a little bit. I shut the doors behind me and take one step into the quiet room. I breathe in deeply and out. I've given the servants order to not let anyone disturb me no matter what happens, and as my shoulders relax, I know that this is exactly what I needed. Man, it really doesn't cure all that much in terms of stress now, does it? Princess Hildeburg. Terrible. The entire Poitou dynasty is truly atrocious. Nobody can disagree with this, right? Every single one of them is terrible. And so, we shall go to war, we shall destroy you, we shall teach you a lesson. You're allied to Poitou, that is one of your vassals, so that does not play a role whatsoever. I will lead the attack. I won't even call in any of our allies. I don't think it necessary. Oh my god, and we failed again. We failed again learning the language. You know, we were patient enough. We were patient enough. I don't know whether he would keep trying. I think he would just accept that he can't speak it, that he can't learn the language of the Pope. I admit it. Vernacular is beyond my capabilities. God damn it. I cannot believe it. We've tried so hard, and yet it never worked out. It just incredible how poorly that went. I've never had a character that was this bad at learning languages, but there you go. I guess that is proof. Not everybody can do it. I did imprison Ide de Poitou. She is the daughter of my half-sister, Vanessa Nunya. I don't really want to keep either of you. I will... Oh, Ramnov de Poitou. Oh, he was ousted. He's still alive. Who ousted you? Wait a minute. Inherited via abdication. Yeah, he was pushed out. A terrible person went away in favor of yet another terrible person. Let's win this war, I say. I won't harm my family, but I will make sure that a good Christian is in control of these lands. Now, here's the deciding battle. It shouldn't really be that difficult. Oh, Hildeburg herself is here. Diego was wounded. I love Diego still very much. He is our bodyguard. Don't forget it. But I think we will simply keep sieging. Let's destroy them. We did capture Renaud of Poitiers. I'm just gonna ransom you. You have to bring up the money. You're a noble man. You hold land. I'm sure that your serfs can make sure that they can pay for all of this. Did anybody die here? Nope. Just the enemy. Everything's still going according to God's plan. What is happening over here? It is a claim. You are pushing your own claim, I see. You are the same dynasty. What is he to you? Is he your uncle? Usually this sounds like an uncle thing, but I don't think he's an uncle at all. Must be a distant cousin. Either way, doesn't concern us immediately. We might go up there after we win our war, but again, that is a conjecture. I can't say it with absolute certainty right now at the very least. Servant of Honesty. I was shocked when I caught Fakilo trying to steal from the travel chest. Right. She confessed she had thought she could get away with it, but now knows it was wrong. Oh, honest. You know what? I think she learned her lesson. I do think she learned her lesson. Did I do that? Did I do this betrothal? Oh, he did this betrothal. You are kidding me, right? You are kidding me. I can't even do it right because she technically isn't in my court. That is a truly terrible betrothal. Wow, to Ramnov, the former Duke of Poitiers, just to point that out there in case you weren't aware. I didn't do that. That was all him. I am amazed because that is such a bad pairing. Wow. Either way, we're winning this war. Do I need to be worried for anything here? We will help, of course, when the time is right. Oh my god, I'm dying. I am dying. You are kidding, right? What a way to go. While we wage war for this. No way. What a way to go. Where's my stress event that lets me get away with it? Where is it? Where's the event that says, hey, you want to lose some stress? Wow. I mean, honestly, dying while we try to see through our ambition, it would fit Lope. in all fairness. He has become a good king after, well, a good ruler after the initial difficulties. And if he still, despite all of the changes that he has made, if he still couldn't see it through, that sounds very much like him. He wanted to do so much, found that kingdom, changed the gender law, and maybe in the end he will finish with absolutely nothing. Let me check, actually. How is succession looking right here? We have a very strong heir. Alva Catalinus is getting a lot. Now, I need Lope. Lope de Comminges is in an army. I will forbid you to be in this army, my friend. Lope, forbid. I will make you take the vows. Do you understand this? There you go. It has been done. I will answer the call to serve a higher power, and I thank you for setting me on this path of righteousness. Learn your lesson, child. And then, maybe one day you can come back. For the moment, you must learn what the church is all about, because you clearly aren't abiding by its rules. I like this. This is a storyline that really is one of those things. He didn't enjoy the idea of punishing his son, but his son did something unforgivable. Now, we still, yeah, it's an interesting succession here, because he would get Armagnac and be very weak, although he would be getting the entirety of his mother, or well, his mother's lands, making it so that he isn't, honestly, this would be a pretty strong split. I would love it not splitting, but either way, I mean, you gotta take them as they come, right? What are you gonna do about it? Not exactly much I can do. Again, a stress break event here, so that I can lose some stress, would be outstanding right now. But it doesn't seem very likely. Ooh, and we seize the convenient back scratcher. An ordinary yet irreplaceably useful tool. His owner can rest assured they will never suffer from an unscratchable itch. I mean, as silly as it sounds, very much sounds like something that I would like to have in these trying times. Here's your back scratcher. Oh, I need to interrupt you. I almost didn't see it. Ah, oh my god, we're so lucky. Here's the mental break. Of late, my courtiers seem to avoid me at all cost. I hear whispers that they think me too impersonal, too distant. But that just means that I rule with a firm hand. It doesn't mean that I'm a monster, does it? I don't want to see them either. Yeah, that sounds about right. Minus 30 opinion with all my courtiers, but we are no longer dying. That is pretty big. The war is actually done. The war is actually done. Look at how nice this looks. Basque-Cognaco is such a cute little realm right now. I think maybe in the next episode, we will push our claim for Auvergne, and with Auvergne, we may see the end to our ambitions, because then we can actually found the kingdom. Now, we still have a war in Normandy ahead of us. I think that we can get it done. We banished our son. Well, we didn't banish him. He has now gone to, where is this? To Italy, right? Bernardo of Nuara. I hope that he has a good life. But yeah, he shouldn't have done what he did. Now, either way, we're in a very strong position. Tomorrow, I will see whether Duke Lope, Prince Lope, can see his, destiny through, or whether he will fail. Either way, thank you all for watching, for tuning in as always. Ooh, what are you? Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe the north actually is still very much under threat of the heathens. We have Pretangaland, we have Flaumdera. Sure, this region is safer now. But even here, we still have people on the Isles that are enemies of any good Christian. Oh yeah, wow. Inzegal is actually way stronger than I thought. Either way, I will see you later. For the moment, again, I hope you enjoyed the comeback of this series. I will now go play some Elden Ring. Later, alligator.